Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new around here, I'm Lori. I am the maker behind Stitch and Moan. And if you are a returning crochet friend, welcome back. This week, I had like a bunch of stuff recorded, and I always do this. Like if I try to record every day, by the time like the day before I want to upload it, I usually watch the footage back and I'm like, this is all garbage, and I will just sit and do it in one take, which is pretty much what I'm doing now. So I had like a market recap kind of recorded, but I didn't like it, so we're just gonna start over. Now, in saying that, I know a lot of people are after certain things, and I like to think that I'm going to give them that. It's pouring down rain, and it has affected my allergies greatly. So if I'm wheezing more than usual, that's why. I can barely breathe right now. Anyway, so a little bit about the market. I kept talking about it. It was a reptile show, and it is one that happens I think like 4 or 5 times a year, and they always happen in the same month or close to the same month, and it's been going on for a long time. I don't know how many years they've been doing it, but it is a very established event and people know to expect it. They've already posted their dates for 26. I'm not sure how many of those I'm going to do. We're just gonna have to see. This was my very first show that I ever did, and this is also, and that was back in March of 25. And this it's gonna probably be the last show, the last market that I do this year. There was one more that I had my eye on, but they posted on Facebook yesterday that they're not gonna have it this year, which I'm bummed about, but I probably wouldn't have gotten into it anyway, because I am not the only crocheter that would have applied to it. I was waitlisted last time, but it's okay. I'll just focus on commissions and my Etsy shop. Anyway, so people knew to expect it. There was a huge crowd. I want to say that it was way busier than the last one, and that was a ton of people. So I took about $1,600 worth of inventory. I had turtles, a lot of turtles. If you saw that in my last video, I made the baby turtles. I made 2 smaller flower turtles, some bigger flower turtles, and then bigger just regular turtles. Of course, I have nothing around me to show, and I'm not going back and doing screen grabs, which I thought about that, but that's just too much, and we're not doing that. I'm tired. We're not doing that. So the big hit of the show definitely was the baby turtles, and they were just like small turtles. From the pattern was from the Friendly Red Fox. If you go back to my last video, you should see them all, and the pattern is linked down there somewhere. They were super quick to make. I priced them at $8, and they were gobbled up. Those sold out. I took 6 and I sold all of them. I took, let's see, a green sunflower, like a smaller sunflower turtle that was just a little bit bigger than the baby turtles, and then I did a purple daisy flower turtle, I think, and I sold both of those. I made the baby snakes. I made 6 of those, and I sold 4 of them. Those were my second biggest hit, the baby snakes. And what's funny is I made the baby snakes and the baby turtles for like the smaller kids with embroidered eyes. You know, since safety eyes are a choking hazard, I wanted to make sure that if there were any little ones there, which there always are, that they had something. And of all of the things that had the embroidered eyes, one went to a kid, and he was probably 11, but he just really liked the snake. And then the rest of them went to Gen Z. They were loving the little turtles, which I thought was so funny. So I know if I do any more reptile shows, I have to make sure that I've got a bunch of turtles. But they're fun to make. Lots of different color options. You know, you can mix it up and everything. But, so yeah, I will definitely make sure that I have those. It is really coming down. It hasn't rained in a long time. And it's been in like the 90s, and it's like not fall weather. So I'm glad that it's raining, but I do wish I could breathe. And I don't know if I can take any allergy medicines because I'm having surgery on Friday. So I don't know if I can. But anyway, so those were the big sellers. I sold my big Jack Skellington that I made, like the big one. Sold him for $55 to another vendor. I had him marked to $65, but she bought him for her son, so I'm like, just give me $55. What else? Some bugs sold, and I did give away one grasshopper because there was a little boy who was already in the midst of a sensory meltdown, and he was ready to go, but his parents were trying to buy him something, and he couldn't decide between two things. So his dad was like, okay, let's just buy this. And he picked up, I think he bought the one cockroach that I took, but he kept going back to this grasshopper. So after they'd paid and they were about to walk away, I'm like, you know what? Just take the grasshopper. You can have him. So this time I only gave away one thing. What else major sold? I sold 2 of my slashers. Last time I could not keep them on the table fast enough, and this time, like, they hardly got looked at. It was so strange. I only sold 1 rat. Those are like the main things that I can think of. But what was really cool is several people walked by and they were like, oh, I remember you from last time. Like, oh my gosh, I'm being recognized. But it was cool. So, and I need to make some hognose snakes. So if anybody has a really good hognose pattern, please hook me up because I really need one. Let's see. So, and this is what everybody's waiting for. How much I made. And I don't mind talking about this at all. I put a lot of hard work into what I do, and honestly, I would do this for free. But unfortunately, Publix charges for their groceries, and gas stations like for you to pay them for their gas. So, you know, there has to be some kind of monetary trade for my time and skills. Anyway, the first reptile show I did back in March, I did $400, and I thought that was pretty good. This one, which is funny because when we first got there, we were like, we're not going to sell a penny. We're not going to sell one thing. I'm in the hole. We drove an hour and a half for this. This is terrible. And then like 40 minutes into the show, we made our first sale. And then it was pretty consistent every 20 minutes after that. I took like over 90 items. I sold 29 of them, and I gave away 1. So the main total was, I made $600. I made $200 in card sales and $400 in cash. Now, I would say for an afternoon hanging out with my hubby, hearing people say, I don't have the patience to make these are awesome. It was pretty good. And it was a lot of stuff that I already had from previous shows and stuff that I genuinely like making. That is my big thing. I know I like brand myself as like a creepy crocheter, but not everything I do, technically, not everything I do is creepy. That's what I prefer to do, but Like I made a Santa and Mrs. Claus because they're adorable and I love them. I crochet what I like. So, and if I don't get any joy out of making it, then I probably won't make it again. And I will be making more Santa and Mrs. Clauses. But anyway, so now I just have to decide if I want to do any more of those shows next year. They text me before asking me if I want tables. It's only $40 to do it. And, you know, it's not that much of a hassle to get there. It is about an hour and a half. They have a food truck. Hot dogs only go so far. That's pretty much what the food truck is. But it's fun, and you know, I don't know. Yeah, it's still raining. So anyway, that was the market and the market recap. I really wish I had more planned. It's strange, like the Monday after, I woke up and I was like, I don't have to make anything, like, at all. Well, I had a pattern test, which we'll talk about in a minute, but like anything that I wanted to make, I could, like, because I wanted to. And I've been busy. Today is the 7th and the show was on the 28th. So, you know, I've gotten some stuff done and I'm pretty excited about what I have done. Since the show's over, I'm moving my focus to my Etsy store, doing as many pattern tests that call to me. Like, I'm not going to apply for just anything because it's a pattern test. It has to be something that I would really want to do. And right now there are so many Halloween tester calls and I want to do all of them, but I'm actually getting low on yarn, which is insane to say. My husband came up here right after the show and he's like, you went through a lot of yarn. Yes, I did. There are a few colors that I want to get for some things that I want to make and put in my shop. But anyway, we'll get to that in a few minutes. So, what I've been up to since the show. I think it was right around the same time as the show. Jess from Spooky Hooks Crochet, who I did the pattern test for Zeke the Zombie Spider several weeks, months, whatever back. She hosted another call for Bartholomew the Teddy Bear. And this was just, picture, like a classic teddy bear, like just a very traditional, you know, standard, what you would think of a teddy bear if you thought it in your head, which, I mean, this is what I think of it as a teddy bear. So it's not spooky. She did say something about a zombie mod, of course. But I had to apply for this and I got picked, which was very exciting. So here's mine, and he was on my Instagram and my Facebook. Today's Tuesday. I posted him yesterday. The pattern came out on the 6th. Like I said, today is the 7th. So I will link him below. But look how chunky he is. There's his little tail. Everybody in the tester group was talking about how cute his little behind is. And we were all talking about how we were making him dance and everything. So in my reel on Facebook, on Instagram, he's shaking it a little bit. But he is so cute. Before I put his ears on, I was like, oh my gosh, look, he looks like a seal. And then I put his ears on. He's like, oh, he doesn't look like a seal anymore. When my son saw it, he's like, that bear looks like a seal. And he didn't hear me say that, so I thought that was pretty funny. But look how cute. I love it. Anyway, I think he's like the most perfect bear. And he's adorable. He was low sew. You just do the ears to the head and the head to the body. And it's pretty easy. I do want to practice on the little toes down here because the color changes are not all that great. But anyway, I was saying that I used the Cozy Occasion yarn and an 8mm hook. Using a larger hook with this yarn, it doesn't put as much strain on my hands, but it's still not yarn that I like to use. But I think he's so cute. And he'll be fun to do in lots of different sizes and lots of different colors. So I will definitely put the link down below because the pattern is available now. Something else that I did, and this is because a girl at the reptile show the other day came to my booth and bought everything that I had that was purple, and then asked me if I had anything else. Like, no, I don't. So I decided that I was going to come home and make a little purple cat. So here is a little purple loaf cat, and this is the Annie Caraway Art loaf cat. This is the regular one. I didn't use the mini one. This is the Catch Lilac, the velvet yarn, with a 5mm hook. And this, look how tiny and cute. This is a regular loaf cat. So this is the Cozy Occasion again. 6 or 6.5mm hook. I don't remember. And these are probably 10mm eyes. But anyway, you can kind of see just how much smaller this is. I think this is like perfect little desk buddy. So I'm gonna probably make some black ones and list these in my Etsy store. The purple one's gonna go up first, and then if I can get to it, because I have a ton of black velvet left, I'm gonna make some more of these. So there is that. And then I've had my eye on this pattern for a long time. We know that I love a voodoo doll. Love them. So Madeline May Co. has most of her patterns on sale for like 75% off right now. So I snatched up a couple. It's fun when when you have like a ton of stuff and your Etsy order is like less than $3. So that was cool. So I started this the other night and I didn't know if I wanted to finish it or not, because the yarn I have the most of right now is the Catch Velvet, and it is smaller than like a blanket yarn or like a Sweet Snuggles Light or you know, any of the other yarns like that. It's even just a tiny bit thinner than Parfait Chunky, which I don't have a whole lot of. So I didn't know if it was going to be too small for this particular voodoo doll, and I had like the perfect color. So I whipped one up, and I haven't done the embroidery or the detailing yet. I just have its body made, but it's adorable. I'm very into like the floppy plushies right now. I want to design one that has like the legs like this. And it's funny because the bear has the same legs, and you just crochet those and the arms in. So this is just one piece. It did not take very long at all. This was $1, the pattern. And I liked the size. I used a 6.5mm hook. So I might put some of these in my shop because I have a couple of other, well, one other yarn that I really want to use for a voodoo doll. It's like this dusty pink shade. You keep seeing if it's still raining. And then she also has Coda the kitty, and we know how I feel about cats. I want all the cat patterns, so I bought that one too. And just to kind of mess around with the sizing, and I forgot what I used, a 6.5 on this also, but I used blanket yarn, and I made him in black. I think the ears look awful, but anyway. And I made the tail too long, so doubt I will sell him, but here he is. This is Coda the kitty. The ears need to be smaller. I followed the pattern, but I think with this yarn, this is Bernat Blanket, I don't like it. The size is good. She used Sweet Snuggles Light, which I hate, but excuse me, I'll give it another try. If I'm out at Michael's and I see it again, I might do like the dark gray or the black just to give it a try. But this is the cat I want to do like some dark gray and some black ones like this and put them in the shop also because they're just so cute. I know the lighting's not good in here right now. We're going with it. But anyway, I think that's all I've made so far. I've got the bear, the voodoo doll, the cat. Voodoo dolls and cats. I mean, that's, what more do you need? So I think that's it. And honestly, I think that's going to be it for the video. Just because I can barely speak or breathe. I'm not sure what my video is going to be next week, if I'll even have one, because of my surgery. I don't know how long I'm going to be recovering, but I've saved a bunch of horror movies to watch, and I'm going to watch the new Monsters show on Netflix. I love true crime, and I know a lot about that particular subject that show is about, and I know a lot of people have thoughts on it, and not saying that I know more than other people, but I'm coming into it probably with more knowledge than a lot of people do, and I also am very familiar with Ryan Murphy and how he does things. So I know what to expect, and I know what not to expect. So anyway, with that, I guess we'll wrap it up here. So thank you for sticking around and hearing me ramble and wheeze through this week. Like I said, I'm not sure what next week's going to be. I have some ideas for some different things, and there are so many different things and patterns that I have found that I want to try out. So even though Halloween and spooky season will be over soon, I still have a ton that I want to do. And, you know, I think I said it before, I'm creepy all year round, so whatever. Every day is Halloween here. But anyway, thanks for sticking around. If you like crochet vlogs or like crochet, like a week of crochet videos, subscribe, because we're gonna have a lot of those, and just whatever else I can think of. So like and comment and subscribe, and come back next week to see what I'm into then. Until then, thank you again, and happy crocheting.